All right, Mr. Andrew, thank you very much for joining us today. Of course, I will say from here, happy 61 because Nigeria is turning 61 today. This is the 1st of October 2021. And of course,
Yeah.
if we look back 61 years ago, that was when Nigeria actually celebrated its first independent day, which was 61 years ago. And if a child
Yeah.
was born that particular day today, that child will be 61 years old. Nobody can say that a child of 61 years, somebody of 61 years old is a child. You can't say he doesn't have any experience. So there are a few things that you cannot justify by saying, okay, I don't know. Because at 61, you are supposed to know, no? And of course,
Yeah.
and we are looking at the history of a country, of a people. 61 years can actually be Nigeria can be a baby in that case. Yeah? Tell us, what is going on where you are? Tell us, give us some fresh news from Nigeria.
Nigeria, we wake up on a daily basis to different negative news. The day you don't hear negative news when you wake up from this part of the world, you have to just give glory to God. There's no day, practically no day we wake up that you don't hear the story of either mass killing or murder or assassination or political victimization or oppression or extrajudicial killing. On a daily basis, you must hear one bad news or the other. So it's just quite unfortunate when we find ourselves and the kind of bad leader and bad luck that have befallen this great nation. So it's quite sad. The recent one we're just mourning is the husband of a very eminent professor, Dr. Aquinnle, a woman that have led the legacy in the sands of time. The husband was murdered 2 days ago. And we are mourning that yesterday, a mass killing in the southern part of Kaduna, so and so many unbearable situations where we are passing through here on a daily basis. And same yesterday, a police station was raided by unknown gunmen where, security personnel were killed, and it's quite sad, quite sad. We are mourning every day by day in this country. We are mourning, we're mourning. The country is bleeding as each day go by. Death profile is rising every day by day. As I talk to you right now, every citizen is owing debt to the international community in this country. Even as you are, that I could say whether you like it or you are still privileged blood of this country, you are already a debtor to the international community because the money we're owing, we've divided it among 200 million people in this country, and each person is to pay the international community at least close to 200,000 naira or 100 something thousand naira. So the money is shared because you are part of the people that will cancel.
I
So
like that. I like that very well. So how much are we owing actually? And how
we're
do you guys
owing
do this multiplication?
we're owing over 35 trillion right now. It's the highest in the history of Nigeria. Once you try to ensure that debts we are owing have been cancelled, but this man just came and triple it. When the previous administration were leaving, they left less than 1 2 trillion naira debt profile. But right now, it's been quadruple in terms of debt accumulation. We borrowed money practically everywhere in the whole world, even with internal borrowing. So we're still borrowing. The country is bleeding. The country is at the verge of collapsing. So we're just praying and hoping that we're able to recover from it. These remaining 2 years, we pray we can survive it. If we're able to survive it, then I think we'll be named heroes of the world. Because right now, the leadership, people at the corridors of power, they plunge us, into perpetual debt. But we hope that God will send us another savior that will come and salvage and rescue us from this mess that we found ourselves into because of the incompetence of the people at the hands of affairs.
Well, that story of the debt is something important. Debt, debt. Anyway, well, anyway, every country is owing. That is for sure. I think the United States is owing something like go to $269.9 trillion. And so, of
But,
course,
but,
this
but
this
there,
money,
but there, but
yeah,
there,
yeah.
but there is it's well longer. That is, there is the money they borrow. You could feel it in the life of the citizenry. But here, the money we borrow is only a few individuals that shares it. You're borrowing money, accumulating debt, and the poverty level is increasing by the day. People can't even have 3 square meals a day. As I talk to you right now in this country, people hardly eat 3 square meals a day. The suffering, the poverty level is on the increase. You can't go to market and buy food stuff. You can't do anything in this country. The currency is becoming worthless as each day goes by. So where is the money going to? You're borrowing money. You are accumulating, we borrow money, few individuals share the money in their pockets. You talked about infrastructure. Where is the infrastructure? We still have the old road that have been constructed in 1960s, 1970 something. We don't have new roads. The so-called rail system you're talking about, there are locomotive trains that are there. We don't have brand new trains. The road and the rail system that will be constructed in other places with less than a $500,000. Here we'll be talking about construction with billions of dollars. So we are not fools. We understand all these things. We are all exposed, but it's quite unfortunate that we just have a government that think that the citizens don't know what they're doing. But we're watching them. The days are numbered. We're counting it for them. Posterity will judge. And the day of reckoning, when it comes, we'll bring the book of judgment out and they will all account for the evil and the things they've done for us in this country.
All right. Now, Andrew, let's do it this way. Give us your assessment of Nigeria as it currently stands, because we are celebrating the 61 year of independence of this country. So we're going to talk a lot of about a lot of different issues concerning Nigeria just now. But let's see your assessment as it currently stands today.
As it currently stands today, Nigeria have failed woefully. I wish we could reverse the hands of time, to go back to the era where we have free educations, where we have free food, where we have free accommodation, where the government places the value of the life of the citizen above personal interest. People are the corridors of power. I wish we could go back to that era. But it's quite unfortunate that that era will not come again. It's getting worse as each day goes by. As I talk to you right now, life doesn't make any meaning. Life is so worthless in this country. I wish we could go back to that era where life is valued. As a currently stand now, the life that our elders, our leaders lived is no longer the life that we're living. We still have hope because we're struggling to survive. We understand what it takes. We've been able to study the paradigm. But what is the hope of the coming generation? Their hope is totally granted because even right now, we've even borrowed into the coming generation. We've already accumulated debt on grant for the generation yet unborn. So as a currently stand now, we don't have a country we can call our own. We just a few activists in the country are the ones struggling to ensure that we have a country left over to be called our own. The elders and the leaders at the corridors of power, they don't care about this country. They are not interested in the unity of this country. They are not interested in the progress of the country. All they're interested in is how to accumulate wealth, how to acquire power. They are not interested in leadership. People say we keep criticizing, but the truth remains we need to hold these people accountable because they're not ready to be accountable. If you leave them, they are ready to mess up this country. They're ready to sell this country and put the money in their pocket. As I talk to you right now, our medical sector, our health sector is in jeopardy. And all these leaders care to do is they send their children abroad, all their kids, all their family members, they live outside this country. Few opportunities that might even arise from the government pocket. Most of these leaders, they don't even still allow it to get to the hands of the few ones that don't have the network and the connections to benefit from the government. You could imagine that scholarship will come, the people that still even benefit from the few scholarship that might even arise from the people in power that have conscience, the people, their family members, their loved ones are still the one that will enjoy the scholarship. Health opportunity will come, good opportunities will come. It's still the people at the corridors of power that will share it among themselves. So we don't even have a country as I talk to you right now, because the country is shared among few individuals. A country where you sleep, you don't have a hope of waking up tomorrow. A country where you sleep, you are not sure whether you can wake up to see the next day because of the level of insecurity. A country where life doesn't make meaning. Is that what you call a country? A country that the government cannot account for the life of its citizens. A country that the government doesn't know the number of births and the number of death rates that happens on a daily basis. Is that what you call a country? A country where a security personnel can take up an arm and kill its citizens without anybody questioning. Is that what you call a country? A country where the president can travel out at his way to go and receive medical treatment abroad without caring for the life of the citizens that he is governing. Is that what you call a country? A country where opportunity comes is only shared among people that have network, that have power, that have connections. A country where if you are not connected to somebody who knows somebody, you will not have opportunities. Is that what you call a country? So as far as I'm concerned, we don't have a country we can call our own. Yeah, we are always struggling to see if the people at the hands of power can allow us to have a country we can call our own. Because we still believe in this country called Nigeria. We still believe in the project called Nigeria because we are stakeholders in the country. This is the only country we could even say is our own. But it's quite unfortunate that people at the corridors of power, they are not even ready for us to own this country. They are messing up the country. They are messing up so many things. But this is the country that they inherited from our fathers. If our father have run this country the way they are running the country, now do you think we have in Nigeria we call our own? No. But they decided they want to destroy the country. And when they are done destroying it, they will fly their children abroad. But one thing we keep on telling them is that even they are abroad, the America, the Europe, everywhere they think their children are going to. Most of the people, the children of the poor that are over there struggle to get over them. They will chase them back and they will meet us here. By the time it will happen, I can assure you that the airport they think they will fly, they will not see the airport to follow. There are so many things. Nigeria is on the time bomb that can
All
blow
right.
up at
Now,
any.
Andrew, okay, of course, the picture you paint is very gloomy, and of course, it's a reality. If any person is out there listening to us, and this person is conscious of what is happening in Nigeria, he understands that he or she understands that what you're talking about is the reality on ground. Nigeria is actually like a kind of standing on a keg of gunpowder. So what we should be conscious of is how do we navigate out of this tension so we can save our life, because we know we have had a taste of horror, and that the effect of that 3 years
Very
of
well.
war has have been very devastating to the history of this country, and we
Very
know
well.
how it has affected us up to this point. So it is very
Very well.
important that we tread very carefully, and like you correctly
Very well.
said, you cannot destroy this country and go somewhere to hide. There is no place for you to hide.
Yeah,
So
thank you, sir.
the only option is to build, because this is the only country that we have. This country turned 61 years today. It is
Very
our
well.
responsibility to look at this country, look at where we are going wrong and what we can do to get it right. But so that we can have a context of who is talking, can you like let people know what you do?
I'm an activist, I'm a public affairs analyst, I'm a social critic, and I'm a Pan-Africanist crusader. I advocate, of course, I have an NGO, Africa Youth in Leadership Improvement and Crime Prevention Initiative. The reason why it's like that, because we want to build youth leadership, youth into into leadership capacity that are void of crimes. We want to ensure that we have youth who are futuristic oriented. That is the kind of NGO that I run. I fight the government to ensure that they are accountable. Of course, we have political affiliate, political association, but the truth remains, part of the things we do for years. I've been a student unionist, and as a student unionist, we are apolitical. All we do is to ensure that we fight for the goal of the common man. We fight for the people who are hopeless. We ensure that we put smile in the faces of those who are hopeless, who believe there's no hope again. We ensure that we live our life for them. That is what we do. We fight from everywhere to ensure that the government put the interests of the people at heart. Of course, I've traveled around everywhere in this country, some part of the African countries, and we're still trying to get more international support to see how we can travel far and wide to ensure that we seek international audience to give us a good backing to fight this cause very well. So we're fighting to ensure that the real true African that Kwame Nkrumah fought for, the real true African that Nelson Mandela fought for. Those are the kind of Africa that we want, African liberations, Africa that owns Africa, Africa that could dictate what should happen in Africa, Africa that the currency will be revalued, Africa that could stand head to head with the international community. These are the more reasons why the likes of us are not even interested in traveling out of this continent, because we believe in the Africa project, we believe in the Africa dream. We believe that Africa can be one of the best continents of the world. Of course, we have resources in the world that many parts of the world don't even have. Of course, this is an Africa where you see other international community, they are coming to extort us, to exploit our resources. They are taking advantage of our ignorance. One situation whereby the Africa continent will be a continent where the international community will be begging to travel to, not we begging to travel to abroad, because they don't have what we have. All we just lack is leadership capacity. So we're trying to build people into leadership to ensure that they actually breed the Africa of our dream, that could stand head to head with the Europeans, with the Americans, with the Asians. We want to build an Africa that believe in themselves. We want to build Nigerians that believe in themselves, that believe in this dream, in this project called the Great Africa Continent. This is what we stand for. And we will stand for it until the Africa dream is liberated. And we're not going to give up. We're going to do everything possible to ensure that we leave a legacy in the sands of time.
All right, that is very important. Now, before we move to the 60s, how would you describe the youth participation in politics today as it currently stands in Nigeria?
Nigeria youth right now are actually discouraged in terms of, should I use the word youth participation in politics? They are not too much encouraged because our leaders have actually discouraged them, you know, have discouraged them from participating in the corridors of power. But we are trying to ensure that we encourage them to come back to politics. Because if we say because our leaders have destroyed our political future, we will leave it for them. The truth remains, these guys are not ready to repent. So youth are struggling to come into politics. Few of us that are there, we're trying to see how we can refine the system, refine the process. Although we're being denied of series of opportunities, but we're fighting tooth and nail to ensure that we get into helms of affairs so that we can actually change things. Because we've criticized and criticized and criticized over the years. You know, of course, we've been preaching this over the people. Have, our leaders have said, our teachers have told us we're the leaders of tomorrow. But we've said no, we're no longer the leaders of tomorrow. We're the leaders of today. We want to take over today because leaders of tomorrow have become like a deceit. You know, you've been telling us the leaders of tomorrow since I was born, and people that think that leaders today they're still the one at the ends of affair. Since when I was born, you understand? Buhari was in power since when I was born. Today, Buhari, since when I was born, they told me I'm the leaders of tomorrow. And today, Buhari is still in president. And he was the president when I was born. Now he's still a president, and I'm even seeing him still going old. So we don't want that again. That's what we're saying. We are the leaders of today and want to take over power by all means at all costs. And how do you do that? Of course, you need to be involved in political activities. You need to go back to grassroots. You need to involve in civic activities. You need to register and belong to a political party. You know, so we advocate for all these things to ensure that even most political parties will advocate that look, if you want to be voted into power, let's see your manifesto. Let's be sure that your manifesto have the interest of the youth at heart. How many percentage are you giving to the youth, both at your level of appointment and your level of electioneering? You know, what is the number of percentage you're giving to the youth and women? We want to see the number of affirmative action. How many percent affirmative action are you giving to the youth? How many percent affirmative action are you giving to the women? Is it 30? Is it 20? Is it 25? So, and what age grade are you looking at? So, if we see all these things and we see political parties that are practicing it, you know that youth will be interested. And how many political parties are doing their best to ensure that money politics is reduced gradually, drastically, because that's still one of the disadvantages that youth are facing. If we can reduce money politics to a very high level to ensure that money is discouraged in the political practice so that the youth will be fully involved in politics, because there's a high level of poverty even among the youth. That's part of the thing that causes level of crime in the country, high level of crime in the country, because the poverty rate is high. Of course, it's not an excuse, you know, for someone to be involved in crime because of poverty. It's not an excuse. But to some extent, if you can create an industries, create agencies, create employment, ensure that investors and everyone, see, let me tell you something. These things are not magic. I tell somebody, no matter what it takes, if you are a governor or you're a local government chairman or even as a councillor, with the opportunity of your portfolio that you hold, you could actually attract an investors. You already tell an investor, meet company, meet production company that look, I have land, I could give you land. I'll give you security. I will protect you. For example, we have 6 local government in Abuja. What you need to do as maybe a minister of FCT, just start with 6 companies first of all. That different company, not even the same company, different 6 production industries. That I want each industry to be located in each local government. Ensure that you give them good soft landing. Reduce the VAT and interest rates for them. Give them free land to install the industry. Ensure that you provide power for them. When you're done with that, that's 6 local government. Within that same year, you can provide healthcare facility for the 6 local government. Within that same year, you can actually provide good pipe-borne water for that 6 local government. Now, if you have 4 years to do, the next year, you can say, okay, we're going on infrastructure. Every road in this local government, at the same time, let engineer, contractors start projecting all the roads in the 6 local governments. Give it to 6 different contractors. In fact, indigenous contractors, not foreign contractors, to ensure that you mandate them. For me to give you a job, you must employ people in that local government. What are you doing? You are creating employment. You are reducing crime in the society. These are simple mathematics. These are simple logics. But because these people, they don't think, they don't have vision, all they're interested in power, power, power. That is why you see their brain is formatted. There's nothing going on up there. All they know is about money. They're not interested in leaving legacy in the sands of time. So when you're raising all these things, so that this is really skyrocket, is it really magic? Is it difficult to do? There's money to execute all these things. There are ministries and agencies in charge of all these things. You bring budget, we ensure that somebody like me now that grew up in the streets. You tell me if I become a local government or a governor or a senator tomorrow, you tell me you come out that I don't know how much things are being priced. You can't give me an overestimated budget when I know how much is granite and I know how much they sell tractor, I know how much they do this. It's actually easy to do these things when you are the corridors of power. It's easy because the money, the resources is there to do it. Just take what belongs to you, what belongs to the people, use it to work for them. You know why you say people at the corridor of power are not effective? They take what belongs to them, they take what belongs to the people to accumulate wealth for the children yet unborn. Why will I accumulate wealth for my children yet unborn? All I need to do is just to leave a legacy for them. My legacy, they will live on my legacy. That's my orientation in life. I should just make sure I am fine. I take care of them and create a future for them. Then from there, they pick it up from themselves. I don't need to accumulate wealth for my children. I only need to create a future for them. These are simple mathematics. These are the orientation I have.
Thank you, my brother. This is a very important conversation, and of course, this is go beyond Nigeria, because the argument that we are having here is how can we have productive, responsible leadership, no? So that, because this is not a problem only for Nigeria, it's all across Africa. I remember it was a couple of days ago, no? I was talking with a professor in Addis Ababa. We're looking at issue because, of course, we started with the coup in Guinea-Bissau, in that African leaders is very complex sometimes, the way they run the system. They run it like the professor said they don't even run it like company. If they run it like company, it would be better. They run it like their families. As if it's a family business, no?
Very correct. Very correct.
It's really very complex, sometimes. All right, now let's move back again to Nigeria because I like the part that has to do with the responsibility that we need to, no matter what the other opponent is proposing to you, it is your responsibility to whether to take or not to take it. And if you take it or don't take it, there are responsibilities along the way anyway. So now, what do you really see to be the major problems facing Nigeria today? Now we have gotten independence, we are free. Let's say we are free now, even though that being free also means that we need to explain it. But let's say we are free, let's put it that way. What do you see to be the major thing that are facing? Because at the moment, yesterday, I was interviewing also an educationist, because this podcast that I'm doing just now, I'm looking at it from different angle. I talked to a king in South Africa, in Nigeria, of Nigeria origin. We look at security because it's an expert in security. We look at it yesterday from the point of view of education. Tomorrow, we are going to look at it from the point of view of youth participation, going a little deeper to what we are talking about now. Today, we are looking at it from the point of view of the participation of the people in the government. So we are looking at it from different angle, in that there is a responsibility on our part as Nigerians to make the thing work. It's not only the few people in Aso Rock that are running the system. We are also co-running the system. There is no way we can get good leader until the Nigerian people are good. The quality leader will never come until we have quality people. Of course, every person cannot be quality, but if the average Nigeria is good, then we can get good leader. So it means that us, whether you are in Nigeria, in America, wherever you are, or in Nigeria, in Europe, or Nigeria, in Asaba, your responsibility is to make sure that you construct the Nigeria you want. You can blame if you want, but if you are not doing it enough, you are not going to get it. So the point now is, what do you see to be the major challenges that are facing us as a people?
Good. The major challenge that is actually facing us as people is, one, over religiosity. Let me use that word. We are too religious. Two,
Amen.
Power drunk. 3, ethnicity. 4, bad leadership. I mean, very, very bad leadership. 5, illiteracy. I don't want to use the word lack of exposure because we're exposed, we're just intentionally wicked. Those are the 5 major things. When you look at religiosity, let me just take it one after. If you look at religiosity, a country that talks so much about religious hardly develop. Did you see Europe, Americans, Asians talking about religion the way Nigeria and Africa talk about religion? The things God gave us brain so that we can give him rest. Instead of us to allow God to be resting, we're still disturbing him with little things. I saw a video, transformer was on fire. Some people gathered and they were praying and speaking in tongues that transformer should quench, the fire should come down. I mean, transformer, electric transformer. Is it normal? A house is on fire, roof is on fire, and you are speaking in tongues, you are praying. Get a fire extinguisher, put that fire off. God gave us brain so that we can give him rest. What are we using our brain to do? Someone is having headache. Take some little peace, take a very good rest, and you'll be fine. The next thing, you take the person to church to go and be doing fasting and prayer and be praying for miracle to happen. You don't have a job, get your CV, go to company, search for a job. If there is no job, look for something to do. And you just see yourself fine, and God blesses you, walk up your hand and multiplies your help. Of course, I believe in God. I believe in miracle. But not the things that God has given you brain to do. You are still disturbing God that's supposed to be resting in heaven after working to ensure that he creates you to be. He said, no, you know that ye are gods on earth. That is to say, we are already God here. What he can do in heaven, we can do it here on earth. We already have that power to do it. I can command the things I want to happen. I blame myself for the level I am because I believe I have not used my inner power, my inner man. The power that has been deposited on me, I believe I have not used it well to achieve what I want to achieve. You expect me to be blaming God and be speaking in tongues for God to make those things happen when I know that God has given me the power to make those things happen? For me to just speak into reality and work towards the opportunities that are created around me? So we are too religious. Is what is happening to the south. Now look at the north. An average northern, someone that is cutting nail. We have 3 wives and 50 children. You now ask him, Ranka Didi, why do you have this number of children? He will tell you, that Allah, God will provide for them. God gave me the children, God will provide for them. Is that normal? You see, we do things so abnormal. You'll be wondering, an average white man will be wondering, are these guys insane? You'll be wondering, how did God create me and this kind of human being together? That somebody believe that you have 50 children and God will take care of them for you. When you can easily give birth to 3, 4 children that you can fetch for, give them good life. Because if you don't provide for them, God will even hold you accountable. When you were supposed to know that life is sacred, you believe that when you kill your fellow neighbor, you will go to heaven. Is it normal? Our religious leaders are a major problem of this country. And I think there is a need for us for the government to urgently look into religiosity in this country. It's too much. It's slowing us down. It's retardating us. We need to urgently work on it. You worship God. You want to worship God with your own understanding. Don't brainwash people. Most of our religious leaders brainwash their followers. They are not even holy. So it's a major problem. Now, the issue of bad leadership, because of the way we have been ruled over time, not led over time, because we don't have leadership, we have rulers. The way we have been ruled over time, we've been ruled over time to have this mentality of, you better go there, accumulate your own, and live for your children, collect your national cake. Forget about the country. The country can never work. That orientation has been there over the years.
We'll be hearing that one for a long time.
You understand? Just go there, collect your national cake. Go there, collect national. Stop all this. You are killing. You are disturbing yourself about Nigeria too much. Leave Nigeria alone. I say most of my people go, Andrew, leave Nigeria alone. No, don't you just leave this country alone? I say no. I have a share in this country, so the country must work in my time. So we just have this orientation, and it's becoming deep by the day. Okay, go there, collect your share, and leave the rest for them. Let the country collect. If you want to die, it will die. But me, I will not do that. I will make sure the country work in my time. They have the issue of ethnicity. Look at what the president is doing today. What is one of the major problems of this country? I've said it in different fora, and I will say it to his face. Mr. President, you see, he's surrounded by psychopaths. I'm just praying God make me meet him one. I said, Mr. President, you're one of the of this country. I know the psychopaths will not allow me to tell you the truth. They might want to chase me or shoot me. But the truth remains, President Buhari is one of the major problems of this country.
Explain.
Yes, big one is obvious to the blind. A president that is interested about only his ethnic people, only his religious people, only his tribal people, at the hands of affair. A president that is not interested in using the best hands to run the administration of the country. Is that what you call a president? Buhari has succeeded. Look at what Jonathan did. Jonathan ensured that there's a equitable distribution of power. But Buhari came into power and divided the country between 95% and 5%. Ensuring that everybody at the hands of affair are people from the northeast, from Daura, from Katsina, only people from the north. Is that the way you run the country? Whether you're qualified or you're not qualified, you are a northerner, you get into power. There's some ministry you get, as I talk to you right now, all they speak there is only Hausas. You don't even speak English there. If you don't speak Hausa,
but wait, Andrew, because this is a part that, since we are talking about the responsibility of the Nigerian people, and we are saying that the people, in most of the cases, not all the cases, get the kind of leader they deserve, no? How did Buhari get into the position? Did we not know the kind of because it's not that he's new. He has been there. He has been a military leader in Nigeria before. How did he manage to get there? Did we mean that we didn't know him?
We know him, but the truth remains, many of us were shouting from our back end, but because there were people who have these resources, who have the power to silence the voice of the voiceless. They have this power to oppress the masses. They have this power, they have this words to victimize their position. They have this power, they have these resources to victimize those that are trying to speak truth to power. They do everything possible to impose him there, painting him white. Now all of them are regretting it. Buhari was actually painted into becoming a president of this country. He was never the right person. He was never qualified. They've always known him that he's not qualified, but they painted him, they repackaged him. All of them are regretting right now as I talk to you right now. Every single person that voted Buhari into power, they are regretting. Interview an average Hausa man on the street, he will say, I regret this decision I take. Interview every single person that voted Buhari into power, they say, forgive me, it's not my fault. I never knew. They are crying, they are weeping. The evil is befalling both the rich and the poor. The insecurity is befalling both the rich and the poor. Look at the senator that was kidnapped for like 3 weeks now. The same senator that was saying that before a week to that time, he was shouting that no, Buhari is the best president in this country. Oh God. This life, God has a way of rewarding evil. A week or two, all these armed men, that bandits or what they call them, they kidnapped the guy. 3 weeks. I believe when he come out from that den of lions, in reality will fall on him. He will say, man, now I can face what the people are facing. I'm telling you, see, this senator was kidnapped 3 weeks ago, and this senator have been shouting from his psychophants that Buhari is the best. Now he are going to face the wrath of the hell that they perpetrated on the poor masses. Now this guy was painted to the people, deceived people. After the second time, he never even won it. They rigged it. They rigged him into power. But I'm glad they are regretting it today.
Anyway, at least in Nigeria, at least that is not going to be the third term. At least we know that. So this time,
yes, no, we are really praying. Even one of us, they look at the rubber stamp senates that we had, that it was in the history of this country. Senators that are not independent, senators that become worthless and useless. We're even trying to scrap the House of the National Assembly, because right now, the Senator Ahmed Lawal-led administration is the worst Senate in the history of this country. They've messed up this country. Ahmed Lawal can never say anything bad in what Buhari does. Is that what you call a senator? A senate, an arm of government that's supposed to be independent, that's supposed to checkmate the executive. They become a stooge to the executive. They become a puppet, a remote control to the executive, because they know they have skeleton in their cupboard. There are evil people in the corridors of power. And I know they will not get away with it. They might think what they're doing and they'll get it. By the time they're out of seat of power, the reality will dawn on them. We're waiting for them. They'll come and meet us in the street. We're in the street.
All right, that is fine. This is Nigeria. You cannot hide. I like I like to remind us that at a point the Nigerian people will need to fish you out wherever you are because there is no
Yes.
place to hide.
All.
All right, now the question I really want to ask you, because now we're looking at the responsibility of the citizens, no, because they are part of the bargain.
Very well.
The Nigerian leadership, we said, has failed the country. What about the citizen?
Wow. The citizens on their own, I wouldn't say they fail the country because when you have a leader that don't even believe in the citizens, that don't even believe in their country, it becomes difficult for the citizens to play their part. If every citizen comes out and votes and ensure that their vote is being counted and they elect people into power. Somebody once make a joke. He said it's not the people that voted that determine who wins, it's the people that count the vote that determine who wins. That is the kind of country we are in. The Independent National Electoral Committee, which is supposed to be an independent body, I could say there are so many corrupt people there. So what they do at the end of the day, the leadership people at the corridors of power have deliberately ensured that the citizens lose value, make the citizens to lose hope in the country. So the citizens don't even have hope in the country again. They don't even have hope in the system again. So the system have been, created in such a way that you have this mentality of no matter what I do, it will not count. So there's no need of wasting my time. So even during the time of election, when it's time to vote, you just feel, why will I go to Sun and go and vote? Because even if I vote, the vote will not count. So it's of no use. So let me rather stay at home. So you don't even bother to exercise your civic rights. Because now we'll be shouting we'll be shouting tooth and nail that sign electoral law. Let there be electoral law where vote can count, where you can sit down in your house and vote, where you can stay anywhere in this country and vote. But they refuse to sign it because they know if they sign it, they cannot bring themselves into power because they have ulterior motive, because they don't have the true interest of the people at heart. So we have been shouting, sign the electoral law, sign the electoral amendment B, sign the electoral amendment Act, so that people can vote, so that vote can count. These guys refuse to sign these things because they know if they sign it, they cannot ring. They know if they sign it, they cannot perpetuate evil. These guys are ready to stay at the corridors of power for the rest of their life. They're ready to die there. They don't have interest of the people. They don't have interest of the masses at heart. So the masses are even discouraged to be patriotic to the country. Nobody's ready to be patriotic to a country that is not even ready to be patriotic today. People are saying, you're asking me, what do I have to do for my country? What has the country done for you? A country where you are the one that feeds yourself, you are the one that clothes yourself, you are the one that pays your bills, you are the one that even provides security for yourself, you are the one that does every single thing for yourself. A government is supposed to provide security for the people, but right, a country, you're the one that provides security for yourself. So you're asking me, what do I have to do for my country? What has my country done for me? They've not done anything for me. I want to spend everything all my life for my country. So it's quite sad that we don't have a country that has the interest of the people at heart. So the people have been discouraged to be patriotic to their country. That is the situation we have at hand. In my community where I stay, I am the one in charge of the security of the community. Every landlord in the community contributes money to pay security that guides the community, the estate where I lived. That is the country we are. The government, they're not interested. If you call the security personnel for a situation, they will tell you they don't even have petrol in their car to come and serve in the security situation. So it's so sad that the government is not even patriotic to the country. The people at the corridors of power are not patriotic. So because of that, they discourage the citizens from being patriotic to the country. The citizens are trying their. Let me tell you something. Nigerians are the hardest are the most hardworking people in the surface of this earth, if you don't know. An average Nigerian will go to a country, will go to a place with just a handbag, without one naira in his pocket, and we survive in that place. That is how blessed we are as a people. But we have a country that we perpetually discourage, frustrate, weaken your potentials until the person is dead. So the reality is that you wake up on a daily basis feeling dejected, feeling demoralized, feeling dehumanized, feeling depressed. You are sad to wake up to the next day instead of to be excited to see the dawn of a new day, because you don't know the kind of news you will open your television, your internet to see. It can hurt your closest neighbor. It can hurt your closest brother tomorrow.
All right, Andrew. Now, listen, let's put it this way. There are some Nigerians who are very good in criticizing. Now, they say, well, I'm going to become a better Nigerian. And when I get there, I will be a better Nigerian. So what is your take on the fact that they will suddenly become better leader when they are not better citizens?
The truth remains, that's the more reason why, even before you don't need to tell us the promises. Show us your antecedents. What have you done even before you get to the heavens? We have a lot of people who have quite a number of good testimonials, from the youthful age, where the agitations and so many other things they've done. So there's no doubt that when they get there, they're going to perform well. You can't say when you get there. You just have to start doing it now. You start advocating now. You start making things happen now. You understand? You could just show us the statistics, the arithmetics on what you want to do. Now, let me tell you something. If you show me your manifesto, you don't need to read a theory manifesto for me. You can actually read a workable, practical manifesto for me. That alone will prove to me what you can do when you get to the seat of power. If you want to contest as a governor, you tell me the number of local governments in your state, the number of LG wards in your state, and the number of units in your state. You tell me the number of roads in your state, and you tell me that these and these roads are not good. These are these roads and what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to generate the funds to do it, and these are the timeline. Let it be indices. It will be obvious that you have a. He said, write the vision upon tablet that those who read it might run with it. That is to say, the vision will be well spelled out to the blind. That even if you are not there, somebody will understand that these are the dynamics, these are the ways at which you want to generate the fund to do this, and this is what it will cost me to do this. And if I do this, I will raise also amount of money to do it, and this is what will be left over in the purse. These are practical, workable indices, not a bogus, crazy manifesto that I will do this. No. So it's doable. Youth that said, if I get there, I will make things happen. Not just I will get there, I will make things happen. This is how I will make things happen. Now, giving you few examples that if possibly somebody is a governor or a local government chairman, that these are what the person can do. Right? Is that not practical enough? If I invite you as an industrialist to come and develop my local government as a local government chairman, I should be able to tell you that I have a certain number of acres of land that I will give to you. I can provide you with local vigilante, with other legal authority, and arm them to protect your industry, right? Is that not practical enough? I can ensure that I partner with PHCN to ensure that they give you a special light in my local government. Is that not practical enough? I can ensure that with the revenue generated from my local government, this is the volume of the revenue generated. This is what I'm going to provide for works. I will ensure that I provide roads with so amount of money that I generated from my revenue, from the rural community down to where you site your factory or your industry in my local government. Is that not practical enough? These are working practical manifestos that people can actually do. I can ensure that I provide street lights because I generate so amount of revenue in my internal generated revenue in my local government. And out of this money that I generate, this is the amount they use in providing of purchasing one street light. I can give you 20 street lights that will ensure that light is generated down to your factory. Is that not practical enough? By doing this, you are going to ensure that you employ 90% of your workers are employed from my local government. Is that not practical enough? So these are simple things that I feel people can do. Because why it seems to be very difficult is we take the money, the resources that belong to the people, we add it to our resources, we accumulate it to ourselves. Every Every person at the helms of affair, at the corridors of power, whether local government, whether senator, whether house of rep, whether governor, have the amount of money that belongs to them as a person. Now they have the other money that belongs to the people that should be used to develop the people, to industrialize the area. If you use it the way it should be done, I bet you there will be development. There will be security. There will be improvement of lives and property. But all these things, we don't do them. That's
Just
actually the major.
thank you very much. Just before we move to some of the solution, because now we will discuss the problem, then we'll also see what can be the possible solution from your point of view. I don't know if you want to speak to the issue of revenue because you were talking about it just now, no? Because in Nigeria, there is not enough revenue that is being generated at the local level and even at the state level. We rely so much on the national generation because, of course, the structure, the federal government decide to be in charge of everything. In that they are the one in charge of the money, so they distribute the money, they disburse money to the people. Where it's supposed to be the other way around. That money was supposed to be generated at the local level and then sent to the federal level, so that the federal level, of course, they can take care of, because there are federal things that need to be taken care of. For example, like the military, no, the policing, for example, is not. It doesn't even make any sense that the policing in Nigeria should be one policing system, just one federal police. No, what about the state? What does the federal really know about the local government problem? Because now there are the vigilante that are being set up in every places. Why? Because there is lack of security. No, if there were the local people that are policing their own local system, of course, they should be able to know when there is an intruder. They should be able to know how to mark the checkpoints. No. So why is the structure set up like this? Is it a problem currently? Are people complaining about it, or is it just fine like this? Everybody is happy with the local government level and the state level?
No, we're not happy with it. People are not happy. In fact, the case is currently in court right now. The case of currently in court right now. Rivers State and Lagos State government. In fact, yesterday the court have granted Lagos State government to join their suit to the Rivers State government to allow the state to generate their revenue and give federal government their own share, which is what we'll be agitating for. Because you cannot take the resources of the south to be developing the north. It's not an injustice. It's not equity. You know, you can't tell me you don't drink beer, but you want to share from the profit of beer. It's an aberration. It's evil. It's wickedness. It's not done anywhere. You understand? I cannot be generating 40 billion, 50 billion to be submitting to federal port. At the end of the month, you want to share, you share 10 billion naira to me. And there's another state is generating 2 billion. At the end of the month, you want to share, you share 2 billion naira to them. Where is the equity? Where is the justice? So let each state go back and generate their own revenue. You understand? Give federal government what belongs, what accrues to them. At that, it will enable states to sit up. You know why many states are so lazy? Because they know they can sit down and then the federal government will send their allocation to them. Let each state go back, even at the local level. It will make everybody to wake up. We are too lazy in this country. We are lazy politicians. We are lazy government. People just think you can go to government and sit down. Let's discourage business of government. If you don't have something upstate, you don't have anything doing any business being in government.
Because now we are complaining. Sorry, because now we are complaining that there is no job. There is no job. But what if we can tell the local government, you want to be a local government chairman? What is your plan? How are you going to create job for the people? What is your strategy? Because if he says he's going to do that, and he doesn't do that, and he is supposed to do that to get money to run the administration, and then to pay to the well, it would not have any place to hide. But if it is just like you're saying, no, it's just to go there and administer money coming from somewhere, of course, you can have a lot of excuse.
As I talk to you right now, there are some states of the north that I travel to. You will say local government is so bushy. You will be wondering, is this a station house? They will tell you it's a local government. There is somebody has not visited that office for the past 6 months or 1 year. Most of them are living here in the capital city of Abuja. At the end of the month, and the money goes to account. They just go there, share the money. Everybody's out again. What are we talking about? Are we being justified? Are we being fair to ourselves?
Just stealing from the people.
If you want to be a local government, generate funds by yourself from the local government. Attract investors, attract industry to your local government. Generate funds and run your local government. Then let's see how competent you are. State government will not give you money. Federal government will not give you money. Generate your own funds. Then tell me how you're going to generate your own funds. You have all the legal power, the legal backing. You
All right.
understand what we're talking about?
Thank you very much, Andrew. This is the point, no? In that today we are looking at Nigeria becoming 61, no? Yes. Do we have responsibility as individual, as citizens of this country? Of course, we know that the government had failed us. That is true. But have we also failed ourselves? That is the point. No? So thank you for the response to that part. Now we're looking at what can be the possible solution. As citizens of this country, we have passed 61 now. We are moving to the next, we are moving towards 100, no? What should we do as a people in order to play our role? Because like I said before, Nigeria can never get quality leader until they become quality people. Because if
Very
you
correct.
bring Angela Merkel, for example, the former chancellor now of Germany, to
Yeah,
Nigeria, it will do what Nigeria government do.
very correct.
Because it's not a military regime. You cannot just do, you cannot, you have limitation, which means that Nigeria government is a machine, and this machine
Correct.
responds to different part of the organ. You have the tube, you have the air, you have the oil, you have the boat. Each and every one of them must correspond to make sure that they function. So we as a people, we are part of the problem, so we should also be part of the solution. What should we do as a people to make Nigeria a better place?
Now, on the notes, what we should do as a people, first of all, there should be total overhauling of the system. I mean, what do I mean by that? If we need to go back to the era, we need to, not if we need to go back to the era where we discourage profit in governance. You know, there should be transparency in governance. We don't have transparency in governance. There should be a proper accountability. We don't have proper accountability. There should be efficiency. We don't have efficiency in governance. Bureaucratic process in the system of governance in Nigeria is so cumbersome that things, recurrent budget is even higher than capital budget. Overhead budget is higher than budget for major projects. So I think there is a need for the government in itself to discourage the business of government. And how do you discourage the business of government? Civil servants should be drastically reduced if possible. We should industrialize the country more than making the country a civil servant state. I can tell you there are some states in this country that don't even have industries. All they just rely on is government money. They call the civil servant state. I said that is archaic. That is abnormal. For you to be calling a state a civil servant state, is it normal? What is the civil servant state? What is bureaucrat? What is civil servant state? Why can't you call it an industrial state? You know, that's why we need people who are business minded, who are industrial minded, people who know how to run industries. They will come into government and run government like an industry, like an organization, a standard organization. So what we should do as a people is to ensure that we reduce overhead of government drastically. That the government and the governor will have 5,000 aides and is funding them from the money that is coming from the government portal. It's crazy. Why can't you just have 24 commissioners? Let those 24 commissioners, let me say 24 senior special advisor. A government that you have a special advisor, that special advisor will have another special advisor. That special advisor will now have another special advisor. That special advisor will now have a PA. That PA will have a PA. That PA will have a secretary. And all those things are being funded from government force. They are draining and making the government. So it's affecting industrialization, affecting productivity, it's affecting progress in governance. So we should do everything possible to ensure that we cut down overhead costs and increase more on capital projects in terms of industrialization. And how do we do this again? You should even ensure that as a president, let's start from the president. President should just say, I won't have just only 34. We have 36 states in this country. I don't want to have 36 ministers. I don't want to have more than that. And each of those 36 ministers should mount 36 ministries. Ministries should be collapsed. There's no need of having more agencies and parasitic. Collapse them into ministries. Now we have one minister, which is the president of that ministries. Every pastor should be collapsed into that ministry. If we have ministry of work, no need to have pastoral agencies under those. It's not necessary. FEMA, the rest of them. That ministry of work should be ministry of works, where we have a minister under him that should just be like the president of that ministry of works. It should not sleep. It should be work to work. It should know everything about ministry of work, and it should be an engineer. Ministry of Justice, we have a senior advocate of Nigeria, which is a lawyer, a sound lawyer, should be a minister of justice. Ministry of Health should be a medical doctor, not bringing an accountant to be a minister of health. So a minister should be a minister who is a professional in that field of ministry. So we should ensure that we reduce the burden of government so that we can concentrate more on industrialization. With that, there will be development in the country. With that, there will be employment in the country. With that, insecurity will reduce drastically because people will be employed, there will be job. And idle mind is the devil's workshop. Where there is high level of insecurity is because people are idle, because there's no job. So
All
they
right.
just find a way to succeed, to survive. They are hopeless. They need to create hope for themselves. They don't even believe in life again. They just feel, let me just do anything. If I die, after all, there's no hope again.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Andrew. Now, all this will be what the government can do to make the system work, to make the system function. And yet they really must do that to make it function. Now, I'm trying to look at what should the average Nigeria do to make the system work too. Say the
Now,
government take care of their own or the government do not take care of their own. What is my responsibility as a Nigerian to do? Because when we talk of the armed robbery, these are not done by the federal government. These are done by the Nigerian people. When we talk of stealing ballots, these are done by the Nigerian people. When we talk of kidnapping, these are done by the Nigerian people. So these Nigerian people, whether or not you have justification for what you are doing or not, it is your responsibility for what you do. If you go and kidnap somebody because there is no job, you are a criminal. Accept that you are a criminal. So what should we do as Nigerian people to make sure that this system works? Because we are in a partnership, the government and the people. What should we do as a people?
Good. What we should do as a people is this: we should just ensure we live right. We should ensure that irrespective of what the government does, okay, fine, let's do our civil responsibility from this angle. During electionary protest, just go and take your voters card, vote, come out massively and vote. You exercise your civic rights. By that, you're able to elect the people of your choice into power, right? You do it as a people. Now, the aspect of criminality, even as a people, we should ensure that we don't, the problem we have as a people, if our person steal, we cover the person that is our person. We don't need to expose him as our person. We cover the person. So as a people, we should ensure that tribalism is totally killed in this country, within ourselves. I wouldn't say because this person is from my state or is from my local government and he commits crime, I'll cover the person up. So we should ensure that irrespective of who you are, no matter the religious belief, no matter your ethnic and tribal belief, if you commit crime, I will bring you out and ensure that you are prosecuted so that you don't repeat it again next time. So as a people, we should not cover crime for our own person. That is as a people. One, then two, as a people, which even refers to law, if you look at even most of these high broaded crime area, northeast and some part of east, south, and the rest of them, you discover that they hold criminals even in their area, in their houses. They hide criminals in their territory and it backfire on them. So as a people, we must learn to expose the evil, that is being done by our own people. So with that, what we try to do, we support the government to fight criminality. So that aspect is clear. Then even as a people, we should still learn to help our neighbors. As a people, we must not victimize ourselves. As a people, we must not oppress ourselves. As a people, we must not intimidate ourselves. I can for one tell you that even black to black, right there in Europe, you are even quite aware that even black are the one killing themselves. They are the one exposing themselves. They are the one, trying to ensure that they pull their fellow blacks down. So as a people, we must learn to raise ourselves up. If I see what is good as a person, I should be able to tell my fellow neighbor that this opportunity is good. Why not venture into it? As a people, we must not compete with ourselves. We must see ourselves as one brotherhood. We rise by rising each other up. Let me give you one example that happened of recent. I have a friend. We have this group of friends, we have a squad. One of them had the issue with his car, couldn't fix his engine. So I just told my guys, in the WhatsApp group, I said, guys, we are all driving cars. This guy's car is down and he's having some financial challenges. We need to buy engine for him. Because we are like-minded, in less than 1 week, we raised money, hundreds of thousands. We bought engine for the guy. And the guy is up to his feet. And he's happy. Now, if we have 20 people who are millionaires, who have 20 million, 20 people and 19 of them have 20 million in their account each. The 19 of us, what we succeed in doing, we succeed in making the 20th person a millionaire automatically. So that is what we should do as a people. We must empower ourselves. We must rise ourselves. We must ensure we encourage ourselves as a people. We must ensure we preach good to our neighbors. You see your neighbor doing what is wrong, you must ensure you tell him what you are doing is wrong. You can't say because the government is bad, then you too, you want to be bad as a people. Everything will spoil totally. You understand? We must not even cheat ourselves. We must protect the government properties as a people. Now, if you say citizens, they vandalize government property, is that how the country will be good? No. We must protect the government property because government property that property was constructed by the government for the people. So we cannot destroy government properties.
Especially if we believe in democracy, because democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
If you exactly. So, you understand? So this is what we should do as a people, irrespective of how the government is bad. Let's just believe in the government. I believe that, look, if you build government primary schools in my community, I should be able to protect it and ensure that I don't destroy, vandalize them. Maintain them the way you will maintain your own thing. If I'm in a government office, I can't just use the thing. You see the problem we have as a people, we just use government things anyhow. And if you go to government offices, dilapidated chairs, everything is messed up because we just believe that it's government, let us do it anyhow. No, it's not even good. Let's maintain government properties.
Thank you very much for that. I think that message is driven home. Let's maintain government property because the government is no other thing than us. We are the government. But because we are not yet educated enough, that is why we think that the government belongs to Buhari. Buhari is not the government. Buhari is just the president.
You know what some of us are fighting because we believe we are stakeholders in this country. That's why you see we keep on shouting to our head just to make sure the country is better because this is our country. I am a shareholder in this country, not just a senior shareholder for that matter. I'm a senior citizen in this country.
Absolutely.
If anything happens to me, people will be on the street. So I'm very serious. That is how little influential we are. Very little influential, but to some extent.
Yeah. No, it's very important. This is why we're here because we're talking about our country. It's our country, So, like I was saying before, Buhari is just one person in the over 200 million people that are called Nigerians. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria. Meaning, he is not the armed forces, he is just a commander-in-chief. If all the members of the Nigerian armed forces fail, there is no way Buhari can succeed. Which means that the Nigerian people must look at this. We must look at ourselves for what is not right in the country. Because if all of us are right, there is no way the government of Nigeria can be wrong. It is not possible. If it is wrong, the next day he will be out.
Extremely correct, sir.
If it is like this, it means that the Nigerian people will still have a lot to do of our individual part. So maybe that will bring us to political education, consciousness, educating the people about political activity. They need to understand that this is really themselves. This is the government. They are the government. How can we bring about that education?
Yeah, how can bring about the political education, political awareness, orientations? Fine. We won't still leave it for national orientation agencies, the mainstream media, online, and whole lot of others. The media have a lot of role to play, actually. But the media have a lot of role to play. The civil society organization have a lot of role to play. The Nigerian Union of Journalists have a lot of role to play. National Regulatory Agency have a lot of role to play. Nigerian Human Rights Commission have a lot of role to play. We must be able, even our National Teachers Institute have a lot of role to play. We must be able to, our religious leaders have a lot of role to play. So various people at various quarters that have, that are the masses-oriented fighting agencies should be able to tell the masses on a regular basis that, look, it is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. You are the real government. Everything that the government, if the government builds school, we build it for the people. So the people are the one that will use the school, not a few people at the hands of power. Because we have a senatorial district that have, let's say 10 million people in the senatorial district, and they elect just only one person to represent them and the red chamber. You understand? So the population, the people are even the ones being represented there. So whatever that senator does in that senatorial district is the people that will benefit it, because he is just one person. You understand? He has one house. He's going to live in one house in that senatorial district. Same thing with the governor. So the people need to begin to understand that, look, the government belongs to us. We are the one that have the right to elect. Now, let me tell you something. If a number of registered voters are, let's say, 10 million in a state, and the number of accredited voters are 7 million, and the people that comes out to vote are 6.5 million, and they voted for a particular 6 million voted for a particular candidate. Do you think it will be possible for them to win the election? It will be absolutely no, they cannot win the election, because the masses' voices is stronger than the voice of the minor. It will be very obvious that this person won the election. Take a look at the election when to monitor in Edo State. You saw what happened there that produced Obaseki. It was massive. When we left Edo State, we went to Ondo, because the people could not come out the way it's expected. There were so many manipulations there. I'm going to Anambra tomorrow to go and check the situation of things over there as regards preparation for the election. I'll be coming in 4 weeks time, and as regards from there to Lagos, then back to Benin, just like what I told you, the people need to be oriented that, look, this is our government, this is our thing. If we allow the few people that are power drunk to put their own corrupt people there, they'll come and do what they want, what they wish. But if we as a people are united, that we have resolved to ensure that this is what we want to happen in our community, the government cannot do otherwise. Did you see what happened in the Edo Central of recent? When they were killing them, killing their people, kidnapping their people, raping their women in the Edo Central in Nigeria, do you know what the people did? They did not wait for the state government, because part of Edo North, banditry and Fulani herdsmen were kidnapping people on a daily basis just between Edo South and Edo North boundary that share boundary with Edo Central. The Edo Central leaders, both the senators, the House of Rep, the traditional rulers, the local government chairman in Edo Central, they all came together, contributed money, hundreds of millions, and formed the vigilante group, gave them arms, buy cars for them and bikes for them to monitor the 5 local governments in Edo State. That is what we call self-dependent, the people's-oriented government. I talk to you right now, in the whole of Edo State, the 3 senatorial districts, Edo Central is one of the most secured, because the people have taken it upon themselves without waiting for the government. The moment they do that, do you know what the government does? The governor, which is the government of the state, sends representative to help them to launch the security arm. Why? Because the governor saw that these people have resolved. The people, people were, I had the list. People, ordinary cities were contributing 100,000, 50,000 in the whole senatorial district. The lists were published. Hundreds of millions were raised within the senatorial district. They bought cars. Last week, the president of Uromi Youth Association spoke with me, my very close friend. They bought a brand new Sienna. They gave it to the police division to enhance their patrol, to enhance their work in the local government. They did not. These are youth in the local government. They did not wait for the government. They presented the boss. They sent me the video. They presented the boss to the traditional ruler. And the president invited the DPO. The DPO was so excited that this is the best local government in the history of Nigeria that all his life that he has governed, he has come to monitor. Now, if the people have made up their mind that we want to take up the government by ourselves, the government will feel ashamed. The government don't have choice than to back up the people. But if the people are waiting for the government to do everything, the government will not do everything because the people at the end of the day, they're interested about themselves and themselves alone. But if government now see that, man, these people have resolved, look at what they are doing. Just of recent, they sent me some videos and some pictures again of most of the roads that were dilapidated in the same Edo Central that were not motorable. Some certain individual, Bishop Obehi, and some certain individual, they contributed money, brought granite, big stones. Right now, those roads are being motorable. Just last week, I have videos and they send them to me. These are what people are doing in local government and constituencies and senatorial districts of people who made up their mind. Now, when they're doing that, the government is seeing the government like government will be feeling ashamed because they can't do it, but the people are doing it. The government don't have choice than to fall back to their major responsibility. So the people themselves should not just say, because they're the one that will suffer it too. This is why the coalitions of power, they don't even fly those roads. They fly from one place to the other. So when the government see that people are doing all this, they will feel ashamed because they don't have the guts to come and face the people. They don't have choice than to revert back to their real reason why they were elected into power. Then they will release the money and they will do the project. So the people themselves should try as much as they can. In my community, let's say where I live, well, but the last time when there were criminals and robbers every time, we move around each of the houses in the community, tell them this time around we need to engage the local vigilante to guide this community. And how do we need to do it? Every house needs to contribute. I'm the secretary and the president of the community where we stay here. But I'm the one collecting the money that we're using paying the vigilante every month. Every month, have record. Every month, we have a WhatsApp group that everybody in the community, if a new person enter this community, is so organized because people like us cannot be in the community and you expect it to be messed up. There's not possible. The community is so organized that anybody enter the community today, I will be aware. There is nobody in this community. I mean, it's a very big community in Abuja. There's nobody in my community where I stay that we don't have their phone number. Because people like us cannot be in this community and things will not change. It's not possible. Most of the roads are dilapidated right now. We're trying to see how we can raise money to even fix the roads because we advocate for it, because that is what is to be done. That is the right thing to be done. You know, we must replicate what we preach everywhere we find ourselves. We put barricade. We should not put barricade in each of the community to ensure that, you know, this place are secured.
All right,
So
thank you so much for that. Though that is supposed to be the job of the government, yeah. But now what we are talking about is that in case maybe the government could not reach some places, the people need to fill it up immediately so that the government can say, okay, yes, my partner is working, which is the people. Then I need to sort of level up. I need to make sure I do it. Otherwise, they will not vote for me because if the people vote for you to take care of their security, they need to pay for their own security themselves. It tells you that you don't have you should be ashamed to tell them, vote for me again the next time because you just failed there. You see that they did it themselves, no? So you shouldn't even go to the people the next time. So I think community awakening is very important for this nation to function. Now, I want to thank you so much. We have come to the end of the podcast, but we are not going to end it until you tell me what you want Nigeria to be for your children and your children's children. That is the last part. Please go.
My last statement and my last part is I want Nigeria, just like what I keep on saying, I want Nigeria to be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, where the son of nobody can become somebody without knowing anybody. I want my Nigeria of my dream, where my children and the children yet unborn will not be thinking of, my children will not be thinking about the children yet unborn, but rather they will think about is how to create a better society for our children to be raised and create a future for the children yet unborn, not accumulating wealth for the children yet unborn. I want a Nigeria where everybody can sleep with their two eyes closed. I want a future Nigeria where, you know, insecurity will be a thing of the past. I want a future Nigeria where I can go to the north. When I don't have transport, I can enter the house of a Muslim. I will sleep there. and I'm sure that I am safe. I want a Nigeria where a Muslim in Northern can go to the east and find a succor there. I want a Nigeria where there will be free education, there will be free medical service. I want a Nigeria where the interest of the people will be the priority of the government. I want a Nigeria where the government will put the interest of the masses above their personal interest. I want a Nigeria where all the government think about is how to make this country an enviable society among nations of the world. I want a Nigeria where the youth, brains, innovations, fresh ideas, witty inventions would be the order of the day. I want a Nigeria where people will travel from abroad and say, I want to come and visit Nigeria, not the other way around, when Nigerians are traveling out of this country. I want a Nigeria where our certificate will be valid. I want a Nigeria where our currency will be revived, our currency will be valid. I want a Nigeria where our people will be interested in coming back home to come and invest their resources here in this country. That is the kind of country I want. I want Nigeria where you graduate, as soon as you are graduating, you know you have a hope, you have a future of where you can lay your certificate on, and you create a future for your children. That's the kind of country I want. I want Nigeria where our children will wake up and say, Dad, thank you for producing me. Thank you for giving birth to me in this beautiful country. Because Nigeria is beautiful. Nigeria is blessed. It's a blessed nation. And this country is going to be blessed. Nothing can separate us. Nothing can scatter this country for us.
It has been a pleasure here. Thank you. Thank you very much.